the police just all came running back out of Chick-fil-A and headed to their vehicles. Guess they got a call. Be safe, guys. I just wanted to do a quick little video about something that a lot of people talk about. Yeah, there go the sirens. And that is bringing your Filipina to America. You know, a lot of people will tell you you need to keep your wife in the Philippines. You take her out of the Philippines, there's going to be problems. She's going to turn into a Western woman, you know, and start wanting things that that you can't provide her with and things like that. But you know, one of the main things that you need to think about when you bring your wife over here from the Philippines is, you know, what it does to her. You have to think about what she's giving up. You know, if you're in a situation, you know, like where I you know, was when we met, still had quite a ways to go in the postal service. There goes a helicopter. Wonder what's going on. I still had a good ways to go in the postal service. There's no way I could just, you know, quit and move over there at the time. And she gave up a lot, sacrificed a lot to move over here with me in America. It could be argued that she has gained a lot in the time being. The time that's passed, you know, she's become a U.S. citizen, has a U.S. passport, which is going to open doors for her for the rest of her life that she wouldn't have had as a Filipino citizen. And she's had a chance to come over here and see Mickey Mouse, you know, and Disney and everything, and you know, experience a new world and to learn a lot about, you know, the Western society compared to the Philippines, and definitely an education, you know. But think of all the things that she had to sacrifice in the meantime. It's been like 6.5 years since she's been able to see her family in person. Fortunately, she's finally going to have the chance to go back later this year and be there for her mom's birthday and all of that, which is really nice. Finally has a chance to do that, because they miss a lot, you know. They really miss a lot whenever they move over here, and they're leaving everything they've ever known behind them. And the language and the customs and everything are different. And they'll band together with other Filipinas that they get to know here. But even that can be a good or a bad situation. My wife, she's the kind of person who, rather than get involved in too much crazy stuff, would rather just be, you know, me and her and the cats, you know. There are some women that we know, I mean, they all get together, they travel all over the country, you know, and they'll go to Vegas or New York or wherever, and half of them are out hooking up with local guys. Even some of the ones you think are, you know, reasonably nice, you know, and they're married women and so forth, once they get out and about, you know, they're flirting with all the guys they meet, finding somebody to buy them free drinks and take them to parties and stuff. And it's not a really healthy thing. You know, it's okay. I mean, if you're not supposed to be married and supposed to be someone who is, you know, cares about their husband and their family, I guess it's okay. Who cares what you do, you know? But a lot of these women, you know, they just are looking for other Filipinos to hang out with because they miss that so much. And sometimes they get into trouble. On the other hand, of course, there's a lot of really good, you know, Filipinos around that you can find, but you don't know sometimes at the start what you're getting involved with and what their situation is, what their attitudes are, what kind of person they're going to be. And you know, so a lot of times there's some drama there that that your wife may end up involved in, you know, just because, you know, she's trying to get a little taste of home. In our case, you know, it was actually me more than my wife who always wanted to tell her, yeah, you should go out, you know, find some, you know, other friends from the Philippines and things like that. And but you can't replace being home. You know, there's no way to do it. It's different for me, you know, let's say going to the Philippines eventually as an older guy, And I haven't really, it's not like I'm super close with my family. I'm close with them, but I've been living away from them for, very long time, and don't really see them that much. It's not like it is for some young woman who's been surrounded by all her family and relatives for her whole life, and being sent into a totally different culture, and missing all those things about home. And you have to remember, you know, how much they're giving up to come to America or another country, for you. And you have to take that into account. A lot of guys are just so selfish, thinking, oh, I don't want to, take her somewhere and, ruin her, and she'll start, realizing all the things out there that she could have in life. That's very selfish, nasty kind of attitude. But you have to think about what your wife is going through, and how big of an adjustment that is. A lot of times, there's nothing you can really do sometimes to make it go away. Even if you love her and she loves you and everything, sometimes it's just not enough that, just the two of you there together. And she needs to have some of that, be around the Filipino culture and so forth. Like next weekend, there's something going on here in Orlando, I think, that we're going to go to. We went to this Filipino festival down in Tampa a couple of months back, and it's fun to go to places like that and be able to, to see different, like, say, sometimes they have musical acts from back in the Philippines and things like that. And it's good. They can have access to, like, the Filipino channel and watch, TV shows from the Philippines and everything. But it's not the same as being able to go to the local little store or the market and buy the familiar things that they like and that they've grown up on. It's not the same as being right there with the family. In our case, we've got some nieces that, actually a couple of nieces that we've talked about adopting, and, basically like our daughters. And my wife gave up a lot, missed out on a lot of things in their life to come over here and be with me in America, And, I like to think that, by the time we get back over there, that it will have been worth it for what we've been able to accomplish. And we've got a nice house that we've built over there and everything, and try to set up a good life in the future. But you have to look at those things and realize that you need to give back something to your wife for what she's giving you. A lot of guys, they take the attitude that it's them, they're giving their wife all this stuff and doing so much for them, and they just don't seem to be willing to appreciate how much their wife is giving them and what she's given up for them, and how much of her life, and different things that make her happy that she's given up to be with you. So I'm really happy my wife's going to have a chance to go back over there for about a month or so anyways, get to be around her family, and not just be around her family, but actually be in the Philippines, in the old familiar places. I know even for me, a couple years back, we took a drive up to the Pittsburgh area. We went out and drove around. I actually recorded a bunch of stuff with my GoPro and never really uploaded any of it. Went back out and drove around, like a little town, like the high school where I went when I was young and everything, and all those places. And you don't realize until you're back there and you're actually breathing that air and seeing those old familiar things, how much of an impact it makes on you. You can think, oh, I've forgotten all that and it's gone. That's a different lifetime, like maybe for some of us it might be a dozen lifetimes ago, but still, to be surrounded by all that, those old familiar things, it means a lot. And your wife is giving up all those things when she comes to America to be with you. So you have to take that into account and try and be a nice guy, Don't be a jerk who's only thinking about yourself. When you have the chance to do something to make your wife happy and let her have a taste of that, you need to try and do it. Because sometimes, sometimes, guys like to talk about how their wife is all moody and everything. But, you have to think, how would you feel too sometimes if you were stranded on the other side of the planet from everything you ever knew and loved? And take those things into account. Anyways, that's my 2 cents on that. And my 2 pesos, whatever. So have a good one.